one and all, and welcome back to Let's Judge Subterranean Starfield. This is your host, Liberty, and your judge, Liberty. And, you might have noticed that all you are seeing is a green title screen. Well, that's because I had initially had a rundown episode, but as I was recording it, it kind of crashed and left me with no episode, which I had forgotten until tonight, when I uploaded all the other episodes and realized, le gasp, there is no ending to this. So that's what I'm doing now. If I sound a little hyper, I have been drinking a lot of iced coffee. Anyway, let's do a rundown. I've been rewatching my videos, so I remember. I have memories of the game, so I remember my experiences. So I'm going to do a rundown of Subterranean Starfield right about nowish. Graphics were pretty pimpin', I ain't gonna lie. It was a combination of Celiana's, yes it was Celiana's, I checked, Celiana's tile sets and the RPG Maker VXAce DS character sets, as well as some of Nessie and, Archaea Nessiah's and Rhyme's artwork, I do believe, which were the face sets, which were pretty pimpin'. They were basically used pretty well, I thought, and while there were some small little issues here and there, passability issues, the majority of them were, pretty cool. I liked the lighting and the ambience of the maps. They were pretty cool. It was a little mazy in the dungeon, I ain't gonna lie. And it was more than a little mazy. I don't mind a bit of maze, but a bit too much maze is like, oh, kill me now. It wasn't too bad maze-wise, I guess. I've had worse. The majority of the graphics, yeah, they were just pretty freaking, they all meshed well together, and they were cute, and the monsters were like, oh, until they started to rape your face and kill you. Yeah, so the graphics were pretty freaking pimp. Onto sound. The music was pretty good, all up. It all fit perfectly well with each other, and, well, it was pretty, Sorry, my brother decided to walk in and interrupt the recording, because he's a recording interrupting brother. That is 3 of 4 brothers who have done this so far. Chances of the last one doing it are basically 0, because it's, he's not around much. Alright, where was I? Sound was pretty good. Not gonna lie, I did like the quality and the direction of it, even though I do realise that a few episodes are missing music altogether. Oops. Sound effects, I guess there could have been a few more sound effects thrown in. I mean, they weren't exactly out there, but, what was there was pretty good. And it all fit together pretty well. I mean, it didn't leave a huge impact on me. It's not like I was humming the tune days later. But, at the time, yeah, I didn't get bored or annoyed with the musical tunes, and I thought they were pretty good. Well constructed, well placed, yeah. Sound. Gameplay. Well, I suppose for the most part I can blame myself for going the hard mode. No, not even the hard mode. I went the sadistic mode, so that's my own fault. we have realised now that there was a bug in the after talking to Rhyme about it afterwards. That there was a bug with the the character re-getting thing. Somehow I managed to completely not be able to get characters after one had died, and that was an issue for me. That was a pretty big issue, because I was missing an extra meat shield, which would have come in handy. And apparently the character that I did have that got killed off was supposedly a glass cannon. In other words, she could deal mucho damajo, but couldn't take mucho damajo. But yes, she died. The sadistic mode is a lot harder than the typical modes. I did finally figure out what EX was for, not in the videos, but because I asked. The version I had was missing an NPC, which was supposed to tell you that you could use EX to have extra turns in battle, which really would have helped. But yeah, well, it is hard to judge because I know for a fact that the sadistic mode was missing certain items that you get in the normal gameplay that make it a lot easier, and bosses had their stats raised by I think 25%, so that made them a lot, well, monsters in general, so that made them a lot harder, and you got less money to boot, so that was fun. But the real killer was that bug that wouldn't let me get another character to replace whatever her name was, Valeria, Vanille. For a game that's for a rhyme games are usually pretty well balanced, but on the I want to kill myself, please help me, I'm dying side of things. And I pretty much expect that from a rhyme game. Granted, this one was a little bit more grindy than I figured it would be, and it did have its issues. Well, what I count as issues. Others might not count them as issues, but I do. Like the money. Definitely the money. The money was a bit hard. Once you got up some levels, like 10, you finally managed to be able to save a bit of money aside because you were surviving a bit more than what you were used to surviving. Rhyme did make a point that if I'd actually, instead of using items over and over again and then rebuying them, I could have just skipped back to town for $100 and healed then and then gone back through. But yeah, again, I would have had to go all the way through the dungeon, get damaged again, and still die. I did have issues with some of the skills missing when they're supposed to be 90% hit rate and 95% hit rate. I do believe that might be an issue with the actual calculations that the engine does. So for all you other makers out there who had issues with that, yeah, I understand that wasn't your issue, it was the engine itself. It was hard, I'm not gonna lie. It was a freaking hard. Playing in sadistic mode was fucking hard. I ain't gonna lie. There were so many times you could easily get wiped out just because the enemy managed to crowd control you to death. And that's one thing that this whole event has made very very apparent, that you can get, in a lot of these amateur games, you can get crowd controlled to death. And it's not a good thing, because it's not really the player's fault. It's, I mean, how many times a fairy could just put your whole party to sleep? That's a random occurrence. You have no way of stopping that, bar buying something to stop you from going to sleep. Then it could get strung up, and then magic attack up, and then just kill you all with an hit-all attack. That, you might say, oh, but the chances of that aren't high. No, they might not be high, but it's still a chance. And if you haven't saved for a few hours, well, that's going to be very painful indeed. So that's something that became apparent. In this game, I had fun. I will say that I had fun playing it. I enjoyed the challenge, because I knew it was going to be a challenge. I aimed for that challenge. I know that in other games I aimed for the challenge too. And the thing was, there's challenge, and then there's unbeatable. And it's a subtle difference. It's a very, very subtle difference. I'm not going to say I didn't get frustrated with some of this game. And I know for a fact that Rhyme will be laughing her ass off at my frustrations, because, well, that's how Rhyme rolls. And then she'll take the game and she'll make it 10 times harder just to make us cry even more, because she's a wonderful, scary person like that. But, most of the gameplay, it had some really good parts, especially the idea of a randomized party every time you start up. That was an interesting idea. It would have been nice to be able to get extra characters if one had died. The permadeath was a bit painful, I'll admit, especially without the working character recruitment thing. But it was an interesting thing to see, because you don't usually see permadeath in games, and it was an interesting idea to use. At least you got to escape 100% most of the time. I'll say that much. And there was a lot of fancy, really nice stuff. Plot. Let's move on to plot, shall we? I keep thinking, I feel like I've said these things 1,000 times before, you know, more money for items dealing more. That's something that Rhyme did okay. Items actually healed you a good enough amount. They healed you a good enough amount, and the encounter rate thing, spells and that, they healed you a good amount too, which was really nice to see. I would have liked to have seen, because it was so easy to get poisoned and it did so much damage. I talked to Rhyme afterwards again, and she said that yes, it was boosted up from 13% to in the normal mode to 19.5% plus 20. So it was extremely painful in the sadistic mode. It would have been nice, because there were enemies that would poison your whole party, to have Cure actually heal your whole party, or cost a hell of a lot less, or be dropped. That's another thing that was hurt. There were no drop items, and that really hurt. It would have been nice to have enemies drop items to heal you. That way you wouldn't have to spend so much money on just rebuying items and then dying. The plot was, it didn't really have a plot. I guess it was just, you're here on this island, go into the dungeon and kill shit. And I don't know, I think that's basically all it needed. it had charm enough with the NPCs, I guess. I mean, I would have liked to have seen a little more plot and a bit more characterization with the actual party characters, but as it was made in 2 weeks, there's going to be issues that aren't completely covered. As with all the other games, that is true, and don't worry, I'll be judging based on that as well. Fun. Oh, well, back to plot. It was well written. What was there was very well written and pretty polished. Pretty well polished. I don't think I saw much in the way of grammar or spelling errors. It might have been 1 or 2. I don't think I did, though. It would have been one of the few games where I didn't see spelling errors, if that's true, though. Because, I know a lot of them had issues, but there were some that didn't. And, yeah, what was there was interesting. I liked the idea of NPCs saying more than just one line. That was cute. And that kid could go rot in hell. There we go. That's plot. And fun. I'm not gonna lie, I found it frustrating. Just downright frustrating at times. And I raged. I raged a few times. I took some time off between videos sometimes because I'm like, my frickin' god, I'm dead again. But, I did have fun. It was strange. Maybe I've just grown sadistic. No, that's not it. Masochistic, that's the one. Maybe I've just grown masochistic over this event. I love the pain. Give me more pain. More pain, more pain. But, I found parts of it fun. I did find it fun. And I'll definitely play it again on easy mode. Not on sadistic mode. Not again. That would hurt me. That hurts me so much. Oh, the pain. But, yeah. So, that was my roundup of, Subterranean Starfield. I hope you enjoyed watching me suffer through sadistic mode. And got a lot of laughs out of it. Because, at least someone did. No, I know that some people are certainly laughing their asses off at my pain. I'm not looking at anyone in particular. But, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back, I guess, with... Will I be back? No, I think this was the last one, actually. I know I have to upload some more videos. I'll get on them eventually. But, yeah, this was the last one, and I hope you enjoyed watching all my fails and run-downs and run-ups and run-sidewayses and judging of all these games. We'll probably be back with the... We'll probably... just to let you know, the judging is going to be announced. The winner will be announced during the podcast for the RSW, Release Something Weekend event. So look forward to that. And until then, take care. Have a good night or day or evening or morning or afternoon or lunchtime. That covers everything, yes? Well, take care. Ciao for now, and see you later. Bye!